down in there right now. Wow, that's fresh. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the final video of this little mini series of the muzzleloader deer hunt. So we mentioned in the last video that we were going to go work on a project in coordination with the Division of Wildlife here in Utah, and just a cool project because this is actually the same mountain that we just hunted. After Walker harvested, we had to bomb off and we couldn't make it happen, but we rescheduled, and now it's Wednesday. We got B-Mac here with us.
What's up, everybody? Just out here doing a little conservation work.
Let me give you a little backstory of what we're doing and why. So this hat right here is one of the reasons why we're able to do projects like this with the help from you guys. So Brian set this project up, and it's been a great one. I'll let B-Mac take that over and kind of explain to you guys what's going on.
So big thank you to anybody who's purchased one of the First Lite hats over the years. Every hat that we sell, we take $5 and we put it in a separate fund dedicated towards conservation initiatives. So over the years, we've donated money to backcountry hunters and anglers. We've done some stuff with the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Now we're working locally with Department of Natural Resources, and this is a multi-functioning project with a lot of different resources.
Yeah, tons of them.
So they've got the DNR, the U.S. Forest Service, the BLM, the Mule Deer Foundation, a host of other people. This is a big area of the mountain where they're doing some maintenance, some rechaining that was done back like 40 to 60 years ago. They're not exactly sure when, but we're going to learn more about what exactly is going on from Kendall and Lance, who represent the DNR and the U.S. Forest Service. And it's a pretty cool opportunity to give back with some of the dollars that we raised from the First Lite hats.
Yep.
And our goal is just to do more of this, more boots on the ground, more opportunity to get some of you involved on projects throughout the West where we spend a lot of time hunting. Not only give them money, but give them our time. Yeah. And that's the goal for today, is kind of show you a little.
Like Brian said, we just want to use our platforms for good, and maybe we can put together a project where we can invite you guys out and get boots on the ground and do it together. So this is a good foot in the door. Let's go talk to these guys and see what's going on. All right, guys, let me introduce you to these two. We have Kendall with the DNR.
Division of Wildlife, yep.
And Division of Wildlife, and then this is Lance with the Forest Service. So they're gonna tell us a little bit about what's going on today and kind of show you guys the project and what it's good for. So if you guys don't mind kind of introducing these guys, what's going on here and what you guys are doing and the plan for it.
So today we're out here in central Utah. We're doing a two-way chaining. We've flown seed on before, and we'll do this Ely chaining with a couple railed cats, and it's a maintenance type project. We're working with the Forest Service through our watershed restoration initiative.
What's the reasoning behind going back over this? Because this was done originally, what, 40 to 50 years ago probably?
Yeah, I think in the late 60s, early 70s. So we talked earlier, pinyon juniper, PJ encroachment. You know, that was happening then, and their forefathers recognized that, and they started doing some chainings. And so those trees grow fast. And over time, they came back in and just basically choked all the other vegetation out. So we wanted to come in here and maintain those original chainings and get that vegetation back to where it's more beneficial to the wildlife and the livestock and everything else. We finally got the funding last year, and we did replaced the water line, so this whole area will have water available to the animals. This final phase of removing the trees and setting the seed.
Yeah, so it sounds like you guys have, when you say one way, you've gone over it once, and then is that when they flew the seed in?
Yeah. Yep.
And so they seed it with you said a fixed wing plane?
Yeah, we seeded it with a fixed wing plane, and then we actually have a pretty good mix of grasses and forbs that was associated with it. So we're about 15 pounds to the acre, and we went through a contractor, a local contractor here, and he was able to get the bid and fly it on.
I'm sure you guys have probably at least drove by or seen like what they call a chaining, or what else they call them, like clear cut. It's not really a clear cut, but
it appear as a clear cut. Some of the bobcat mastication work where they actually just shred the trees to mulch. You know, it's similar to a clear cut, but they're not removing any material.
If you guys have ever hunted out west, no doubt you've run into what you see here, which is a lot of junipers. Basically, they kind of perform natural habitat to a degree, right? I mean, they kind
Yeah,
of take over.
they're very aggressive. They're not an invasive species. They're native to the area. The pinyon tree, you know, if you've ever eaten pine nuts, that's where you get your pine nuts from. They're not an invasive species, but they are very aggressive.
Kind of the long-term hope and goal of the project is that more wildlife can come in winter down in this area. So they're all the native grasses and forbs that they've reseeded with, and then the removal of a lot of the junipers should create some better habitat for the animals down the road. And then it's a multi-use area, so there's also going to be cattle grazing that goes on in here. So the ranchers that have the leases to these pieces of property will be able to move their cattle around more so than maybe in years past when it wasn't as ideal of habitat. Is that right?
That's right. One of the keys to that range management is we don't want to graze the same place at the same time every year. By doing that and opening up this pasture, you know, we're not gonna use it for about 3 years. We just want to get all that vegetation a chance to really get established, and then we'll just use it lightly in the springtime, and it will give those upper elevations more chance to get up and get to maturity. Livestock will stay the same, but the impact from livestock will drastically be reduced across a very large area.
Wow. Yeah, that's big.
These hold about 1,100 gallons of water, 1,200 gallons of water.
So is this one about ready to get filled up?
It's ready for water. Yeah, we got a few little, there's a float valve that goes in the center of this. And we just put that pipe there just to kind of protect the valve stuff. So, you know, if elk or cows or anything decide they want to go swimming, they can, and they won't break the system.
A project like this would be a huge benefit for small game, birds. I mean, everything benefits when there's water, feed, and cover in one place. Everything should thrive.
This is all gravity fed too from a natural spring up in one of these canyons. They're collecting it and essentially piping it down to these different guzzlers they have. So just using what's already there, but just making it way more efficient. So you guys can kind of tell here, so these are some of the different seeds that's been dropped. And what they were saying is these type of seeds don't need a whole lot of overcover. So just natural wind blowing over dust, or the tractors kind of mixing it up as they go is all that these natural seeds really need. And so the seeding was done, I think, just maybe earlier in the week. Now where Eric's at, you can kind of see how these two dozers are working together to go back over this chaining. And this is their second pass, so they've already done like the lion's share of knocking down the junipers. But now that the seed's been dropped, they're coming back over it to try to just kind of cover up some of the seed and get that established. But let's check it out. It looks pretty wild.
Actually, look at the size of this swivel. So what do you call this? The lead-in chain?
That's the lead-in chain.
So from here forward, that's the lead-in chain. And then you got the swivel, and look at the size of this chain right here. And it's got some extra junk going on. What do you call those? Anything?
So it's, you know, that's just a piece of iron welded on there, but they basically add teeth to each link.
Is it on every link?
It's on every link, you know, and you can see they're alternating.
Yeah.
And so as it's dragging, it's getting in the ground, and it just gives it more teeth to grab the trees, grab the brush. And like I said, they also have a smooth chain. It's a little less disturbance.
Less disturbance. So this chain is all wraps all the way around and is connected to that other dozer. And with the swivels, it allows the chain to kind of self-clean itself. So you would think if a chain was pulling everything that it'd pile up. Well, eventually, as it spins, it'll just spit out the trees. So this is the second run they've been doing, and they go over it once in one direction, and then they go over it again in the opposite direction to help really eat up the roots, because if you don't really kill the roots and dig it all up, they'll just spur up off the roots, and you'll just have the same problem again. So on behalf of all of us here at Hush, you know, all you guys, the fans, the followers, and especially our customers that purchased the First Lite hat, we just have a check here to help support this project. So it's written out to the Division of Wildlife Resources, and hat feels good, man. Give me the chills. It's cool growing up in this home state of Utah, hunting this mountain range, and my dad actually grew up hunting this mountain range. Feels good to contribute. So thanks to all you guys, because it's not possible without you guys. And thanks for having us, guys.
Thanks
Really
a lot, Eric.
appreciate it. Hopefully we
Appreciate
can
it.
get some more projects
Thank you.
together.
Thank you for the educational
Yeah.
You bet.
afternoon. It's been awesome. Appreciate you guys following along. Stay tuned for more of this kind of stuff coming in the future. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the video, we are going to plan some events where we can do some good things. There's a lot of projects that these guys have. There's a lot of projects that all of the states that you might live in have. I think sometimes it's just hard to figure out how do you get involved and how do you take that first step. So if we can be a conduit to getting boots on the ground and getting people involved, aside from donating money, that's what we plan to do. So appreciate your support. We'll see you soon.